Well, it's certainly interesting. This is the second day where we have had significant protests in the main city, Yangon. Though there, last week it was weekdays. Obviously, it was early days. People were shocked, but they weren't on the streets in the way that they are now. So there's certainly the potential in big cities like Yangon, Mandalay, where people can spread by word of mouth news of protests and what they're doing. There is certainly the potential this could backfire and this could see people taking to the streets. But also the now opposition to the military regime, they are very worried. They're very worried because, their organization, their way of getting the message across the country and to people outside the country has been badly hit. And they're also very worried that with a semi-blackout in place, that, the military could take some very sharp retributions against them. We're already seeing an increase in arrests. People are telling me that they're, fearful of knocks on the door in the middle of the night. So, it's a big fear for the anti-regime people to have no access to these common forms of communication.
And without them able to get their message across, that obviously leaves a possibility for disinformation. Has the army tried to craft a narrative about these protesters?
The army is actually trying to, in public profile, is trying to ignore these protesters. Their state media and the global New Light of Myanmar newspaper are not mentioning them. What they're trying to do is portray a sense of normalcy. They are sort of holding cabinet meetings with their new appointees. The army general who headed the coup held a meeting of the new ruling council. They've been calling diplomats and sort of explained to them why the old government was responsible for electoral fraud and wasn't running the country very well. This can't really continue, and it's in an alternative reality where they're sort of saying that we are maintaining this country on the road to a multi-party democracy, they said, by planning to hold a future election. But at the moment, they're not so much vilifying the opposition as they are trying to ignore them. But when you see the numbers on the streets, that's just simply not a tenable position.